In 2012, the Japanese animation studio David Production picked up a manga that was huge in Japan but quite unknown in the West. This manga was of course JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. In the opening of the first part, it begins by flipping back manga panels showing the protagonists of previous JoJo parts. There's Jolene, Giorno, Josuke, Jotaro, Joseph, and finally Jonathan, who bursts out of the panel in the glorious 3D animation. This is odd because the panels don't flip back from the beginning of JoJo, but instead starts at part 6, neglecting the final 2 parts of JoJo at the time. In this opening sequence all the way back in 2012, David Production made a promise to us the viewer, a promise that they would animate the first 6 parts of JoJo, and a promise that they would fulfill 10 years later with the conclusion of the Part 6 anime. However, now that Stone Ocean has completed, me and many other people are now wondering, will they animate Part 7, Steel Ball Run? This answer may seem obvious, a firm and resounding yes, but let's dive a little deeper. As we all know, the release schedule of Part 6 was handled less than perfectly. Netflix acquired initial distribution rights, meaning they could release Stone Ocean before anyone else in the world. When this was announced, many people, including myself, were excited. For the first time, I would get to experience JoJo Fridays with everyone else without needing to watch the series through unsavory methods. I was also excited because of how much Netflix prioritizes getting media dubbed into different languages. It took David Production over a year to get Golden Wind dubbed into just English. However, when Stone Ocean released, right alongside the original Japanese, there were 7 more different languages. That's a huge plus for Stone Ocean because it allows it to become much more globally widespread and recognizable. However, that's sadly where the good things end. Netflix decided to forego the previous standard release schedule of 1 episode a week and instead opted for what they called a batch release schedule. The first third of episodes all released at the same time in what was called Batch 1, then 9 months later, another third in Batch 2, and finally, a full year after Batch 1, we got the final third of episodes in Batch 3. These batch releases were horrible for the momentum of JoJo. I remember me and my friends being super excited the time Batch 1 rolled around, but 9 months later when Batch 2 came out, I asked my friends what they thought of it, and they hadn't even known it was released. These batches made people excited for about a week, and then everyone forgot. If I had to make a graph of Stone Ocean viewership, it would look something like this. Batch 1 has an immense amount of hype before quickly and devastatingly crashing down, and never coming anywhere near that amount of hype again. These are the reasons why Netflix's involvement in JoJo was handled terribly. But this video isn't about Stone Ocean. Let's talk about Steel Ball Run. The setting of Steel Ball Run is a 19th century horse race across America. Now, there are a lot of horses in this part, like a fuck ton. And horses are famously hard to animate because of the complex way the animal moves. Now that's not saying it's impossible to animate horses, but it's incredibly expensive and time consuming, so this is another reason David Production may decide to stop the JoJo train here. However, there's one thing I haven't mentioned yet. Now brace yourself, I know it's scary, but you gotta get through it. Ready? David Production could use CGI for the horses. Now obviously not all of the time, I would hope for close-ups to still be drawn, but CGI could work really well for scenes like this, or even these. Some people may be hesitant to the idea of CGI in anime, and that is understandable. There was a lot of CGI in the Stone Ocean anime, and it looked but CGI can look good in anime. Take Chainsaw Man for example.
This looks incredible!
The CGI in Steel Ball Run doesn't even need to look that good. As long as it looks better than Stone Ocean and isn't overused like crazy, I'm completely on board with using CGI. With David Production fulfilling their promise, Netflix's Trainwreck, and horses, it may seem like the chances of a Steel Ball Run anime are getting slimmer and slimmer. However, I still believe no matter how long it takes, Steel Ball Run will get adapted. The 7th part of JoJo is widely considered JoJo's magnum opus, and the best part in the entire series. Now whether I agree with that statement is a question for another time, however nobody can deny the widespread appeal and love of Steel Ball Run from the fanbase. That's not my only reason though. Cause people like it isn't all of the reasons a company needs to make an anime. Another big reason David Production could animate Steel Ball Run is the main reason 99% of companies do anything at all. Even if Steel Ball Run got the same ratings as Stone Ocean, or god forbid even did worse, David Production would still likely turn a profit. Now I'm no businessman, but I think it's clear to see that JoJo is David Production's largest animation project. So while it's not impossible that David Production could drop JoJo, it would be downright idiotic for them to let go of such a precious asset. Now that we know we will most likely get a Steel Ball Run anime, one of the questions that first popped into my mind was how many episodes could we expect? The conclusion I came to is somewhere around 46. I made this estimate by going through the entire manga and plotting out where each episode would begin and end, complete with my own episode titles. I made sure the pacing was good by comparing how many pages I adapted to how many pages other JoJo episodes adapted. I also made sure it had a good average number of pages per episode. I used this Reddit post which counted how many pages each JoJo part has to figure out their pages per episode. These were the results. And if I put part 7 there, it fits quite well. I'll have a link to this spreadsheet in the description if you want to take a more in-depth and closer look at the episodes. It's far from perfect, but I don't think I did too bad. Alright, now for what all of you are really here for. When do I think this anime will be released? Looking at the previous track record for how much time is between JoJo parts and the length of Steel Ball Run, I think we can expect to see an announcement or some kind of teaser relating to the Steel Ball Run anime sometime from late 2024 to mid 2025. This may seem like quite far away, and it is. However, I'm trying to be realistic, and honestly, this might even be a little too optimistic, as the anime could easily also start airing sometime in 2026. So these are my reasons why I think we will be getting a Steel Ball Run anime sometime in the future. There's a lot of other great videos on this concept, so I tried to make mine a little different by attempting to predict aspects of the anime. Let me know in the comments if you agree with my decisions and estimates, and if you disagree with me, then let me know why. I'd love some discussion in the comments. But with all that being said, I'll see you in the next video.